Regina, Mater misericordiae, vita dulcedo, estes nostra salve.
The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. Jesus made the disciples get into a boat and proceed to the other side of the sea, where he dismissed the crowds. After doing so, he went up on the mountain to pray by himself. When it was evening, he was there alone. Meanwhile, the boat, already a few miles offshore, was being tossed about by the waves, for the wind was against it. During the fourth watch of the night, he came toward them, walking on the sea. When the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were terrified. "It is a ghost," they said, and they cried out in fear. At once Jesus spoke to them, "Take courage, it is I. Do not be afraid." Peter said to him in reply, "Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water." He said, "Come." Peter got out of the boat and began to walk on the water towards Jesus. But when he saw how strong the wind had become, he was frightened. And beginning to sink, he cried out, "Lord, save me." Immediately Jesus stretched out his hand and caught him, and said to him, "O you of little faith, why did you doubt?" After they got into the boat, the wind died down. Those who were in the boat did him homage, saying, "Truly, you are the Son of God." After making the crossing, they came to land at Gennesaret. When the men of that place recognized him, they sent word to all the surrounding country. People brought to him all those who were sick and begged him that they might touch only the tassel on his cloak, and many as touched it were healed. The Gospel of the Lord.
There is a common mistake or a common error we all oftentimes get involved in. I'm also involved too. Oftentimes we think that God does not care about what happens in our life. In our individual lives. Or we think that God has abandoned us. Or, especially in difficult times, we feel, where is God, Why is he not helping us out? We do feel that way, but I say in error. Because God does not abandon us. He's always very near to us. Granted, for sure, we may be dealing with difficult things from time to time, even now or even in the past. We may have experienced some powerful difficulties that we felt that only God could help us. And we feel that God did not answer our prayers. And sometimes we don't even know how we figure it out. And things get solved, And we do not even give glory to God because we think God did not do anything, Like the first reading. We may be suffering what we have caused ourselves. Let us be realistic about that. We may be going through our mistakes, yes. Or what our beloved ones has cost us in life. It is possible. We may be, as a matter of fact, be suffering from punishment from God. Yes, God could punish us. Or sometimes refrain from coming into our life because we want to walk away, But that does not last long. What do we need to do? From today's readings, we have a solution. When we feel that God is not near us, or we feel like we are astray or away from God, what do we need to do? We only need to reach out and come back to God, because it is we who wonder they were not God. It is we who have abandoned God, as a matter of fact, not Him. because he does not abandon his people. He does not abandon his creation. He does not abandon his word. What happened in today's reign between Jesus Christ and his disciples should serve as a lesson for us. Jesus was coming to these guys. He saw them. He observed them being tossed about by the wind and by the waves of the water. He was coming to them. And I know they were saying, where is Jesus Christ? On another account of this type of event, according to St. Mark, he recorded Jesus as sleeping in the boat. He was asleep, So this context was that he was away. Now, according to Mark, he was asleep. Think about the two things. Do you see God asleep in your life? Or you see him away, not with you? In both circumstances, the disciples were proved wrong. That Jesus was coming to them. He noticed what they were going through, and he was coming to them. And the guy they thought was sleeping in the boat was not sleeping. And when they woke him up, he did something marvelous. He stopped the wind and the waves. But in today's circumstance, Jesus Christ, Peter said, if it were you, doubt. If it were you, let me come to the water and walk on the water. Jesus said, come along. My people, that is our relationship with God. If we have this picture in our head, let us always reach out to God, even when we think we are sinking. Even when we think that all hope is lost, let our hope in God never be lost. Even when we have felt abandoned by anyone, everybody, God does not abandon us. That's the assurance of God to us today. May we keep walking with him, trusting him that he could always save us from anything at all. May we have that faith in our relationship with him. God bless you all.
Regina Celi, Letare, Alleluia, qui